How's it going, everybody? My name is Absoulem, and welcome back to the Resident Evil walkthrough for Village of Shadows with all collectibles. And this is part number 9. So we just got done with the armory, and we infiltrated the den of lichens, and now we are picking up right after our boss fight, after we got our 4th flask. So now we're getting in our boat, and we're ready to go take on Heisenberg. So right now, we have a few collectibles right up here on the left, and I'll be covering all the collectibles. If you're just joining us, then everything is timestamped below and all the parts are linked there in case you need to catch up. And if you're returning, then welcome back. I hope you guys are having a good time as much as I am walking through this game. So yeah, let's get started. Oh, there's that fish we already killed. Okay, so here is our first collectible, file number 36. That is going to be experiment notes. And that is it for this little room right here. This is one of those classic, as soon as you loot everything and turn around, there's enemies that spawn in. But we have the grenade launcher, so... They just don't learn. Now this is going to be quite a long section in the walkthrough, probably the longest one in the whole series. So I will be speeding through some of it, like I've mentioned earlier, but this part is by far the longest, and it's definitely one of the harder ones, but honestly the grenade launcher makes it kind of a joke. It's not going to be hard for you if you have the grenade launcher. It's just more like there's a lot to cover, but the enemies themselves are not hard, like at all. So hey, you might remember this mausoleum right here from earlier in the game. We finally opened that door up, and now we are ready to save the game and get back to the merchant, drop our flask, and fight Heisenberg. I'm not too sure why I saved it. I guess you can never be safe and sorry, but there's a look at our map. We have literally completed everything that you can possibly do in the map. I snuck up on him.
It's my greatest pleasure to see you return.
All right, so
alive.
dropping our 4th flask will actually... sorry, I keep thinking I can skip it, but it's not a cutscene. So that's going to give us the altar piece, and I think you know where to put this at this point. But first, we're going to hit up the merchant, save everything,
Well then,
trade in any materials, stuff like that.
Patronage.
All right, so once you've done your inventory management, basically it's just selling off everything and upgrading weapons at this point. We have infinite ammo. But now you're going to make way to the altar if you haven't already figured that out. And we're going to be placing our idol. Personally, this section of the game is not my favorite. I could see how it would be scary for some people if that's the kind of horror you're scared of. But to be honest, this section is just kind of like... It feels like it fits, but it doesn't. Personally, I feel like it just doesn't hit the same notes that the lichens and the vampires do. This is like a factory, and it has machines and things, and so it's definitely creepy. I do enjoy the puzzles of this area, but it just seems like really weird. I don't know. It's pretty tough if you don't have the grenade launcher though, so I do appreciate the challenge. But my first time in the factory felt overwhelming, just because it's dark and very like twisted. It's not a very easy pattern to remember, and so I don't know. I felt like the factory was just more tedious, if anything. So I'm glad that I took the time to memorize it, and I will save you guys the trouble of having to learn it. But yeah, I don't know. It's definitely an interesting area. Aside from the pun of it has a lot of moving parts, but there's a lot that you can do in the factory.
Ethan Winters, welcome. I didn't think you'd make it past.
Now, despite this massive field, there's only 2 loot items, and it's going to be over here on the tank thing over here, and then one at the door. I was dead set on there being a collectible out here, but there's not. So right there is the first item, and then the other one is at the doorway. I was like, surely there's a goat out here. Something. File. Anything. Nothing. Now, when you get in this room over here, this is my favorite cutscene. I'm sorry I have to skip it. I love this cutscene, but I do have to skip it. But I'm actually going to leave. This is my death of the game. I'm going to leave it in because I thought it was hilarious. I was just filming the walkthrough. I skipped the cutscene. It immediately died. And I just thought it was so funny the way I died. So I'm going to leave that in. Hope you guys enjoy it. Just get shredded. Yes, I might have died. I thought that was funny. I don't know. I didn't have a chance in hell. So this is something that you want to just run. And the grenade launcher is absolutely perfect, because you're going to use it to clear out the enemies. They get in your way, just shoot them and clear them out. And then drop down the laundry chute or whatever this is. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed my death. I thought that was pretty funny. It's like, of all the ways I could have died in this walkthrough, that's how I died.
What was that?
It's dangerous skipping cutscenes sometimes. You're just not ready for it. Alright, so make sure you get these loot items on the right side over here. They'll help you build some stuff and whatnot. But at this point, I'm going to do some major crafting and just build everything. So I'm pretty stacked on everything. Your resources, once you have infinite grenade, you start just stacking up resources. So I would start building mines, magnum. Specifically magnum ammo, you are going to want that big time for the final boss. That is going to be your like saving grace in the finals. So just try to stack up as much magnum ammo as possible. Now, just a reminder, I'm going to be fast forwarding through any areas that are just killing, and I'll be slowing it down when there's collectibles, things like that, or places to go. But because this is super long, I don't want to waste time just showing me fighting. So from this point on, basically any combat that I have, you know how to do it. And if it's a new enemy, then of course I'll slow it down. But I don't want to waste a bunch of time on stuff that everybody knows.
This place is messed up.
Now this is a really good spot to get the challenge done, where it's like quit hanging around or whatever. Basically just snipe any of the robots off of the thing, and you'll see them fall, and then you'll get the challenge right here. Quit hanging around. Right there. Super easy. Just get it out of the way. So here is our last labyrinth. So make sure you loot this room, and we're going to be coming back here later on to finish that off. But that is where the last labyrinth is at. It's this little room to the right. And then our merchant's right here, so make sure you do any stocking up or whatever, selling. You shouldn't have too many things, but definitely save it.
Shall I choose something for you? Please do take a look at my new stock. Till next we meet.
Alright, so we are going to go B4, B3, and then B1, and then B5. And so that's the order of floors. But this is quite a difficult area to memorize. So just think about it in terms of floors, and then there are a couple areas. But you might not be able to perfectly memorize that on your first playthrough. It is quite a difficult area, and it's all dark, and they all look like the same area. So I totally understand if you get lost. Just think about, I'll try my best to name the floor I'm on too. So we're on B4. Alright, so basically this is the power level, and you need to turn on power. Each floor has its own like little dilemma. This is restore power floor, basically. Alright, so this beefy dude, he's a new enemy, but our grenade launcher makes him look stupid. And for all of these enemies in the factory, the red light on them is the way you hurt them. So always aim for the red light. This guy will take quite a number of bullets, but I'm going to fast forward from here on out. Okay, so once that guy's dead, basically we're going to be collecting some items to unlock that secret door right there, as well as the forge, I guess. So this is considered the forgery. This is going to be a big location, so I would definitely advise at remembering how to get back and forth from the forgery. We're going to be coming here quite a bit. So from where the merchant is to the forgery, just try your best to remember that path. I'm going to fast forward these enemies because there are just a couple, and it shouldn't be too difficult. There's one robot, and he works the exact same way as the other one, so. Now there is a lockpick obviously right here. You can go ahead and get a quartz out of that. Now this door we're going to be coming back to, so definitely remember that. And here is going to be our first look at a few other kinds of robots, but first there is the forge item that we're going to need to pick up right there. So that is the only item of interest. But this enemy is super easy. You'll notice that the grenade launcher will just knock these guys back, and they really aren't a threat at all. They don't even have a chance of getting to you. And that's going to be true for every single robot. They literally cannot even touch you with the grenade launcher, making this entire area of the game like almost too easy. But we're not complaining. This guy right here with the horns, he can shoot lasers, but we don't give him that chance. So, grenade launcher, 100% of the time for this area of the game. It is absolutely crucial, and it makes it so easy. So, after picking up that forgery item, come over here and put it down and forge the door piece. I don't really know what to call it. But you're going to be coming back here a lot, so definitely remember how to get back and forth.
Seems useful.
Huh. Seems useful. Like, shut up, Ethan. Everything I do is useful. Come on. Alright, so just take note of this door. We'll be coming back here later. But yeah, this is another lockpick right here. Nice. We got the cat burglar pick 15 locks. If you've been doing any of the lock picks, you should be getting close on that. So now just ignore the fact that I missed a few times. We're not going to talk about that. Yeah. Shoot all of the red dots basically, and these things will stop. Okay, I'm sorry for missing like way too many times. I was getting a little cocky, thought I could hit him from a distance, but hey, what do you know? I was trying to do it because there's a bunch of enemies up ahead, and I was trying to just get them all out of the way. I find it easier. I'm gonna fast forward now. The sounds these guys make when it's sped up is pretty funny. It's not like chipmunks. All right, so unlock that door for sure. That goes back to the forgery. So now here's a secret room over here. So make sure you get all the loot here. And don't sell that cog that we just picked up. We are going to combine that with something much later in this walkthrough. So don't do that. That is one of the last combinable treasures of the game. So definitely don't do that. And as far as enemies, you don't have to worry about this room, but once you switch it on, basically those guys that we passed earlier are going to start chasing you, so loot up everything you can before doing that, and then we'll move on. There's not really much you can loot, to be honest, anyways. It's kind of after the fact. Okay, so here is our second collectible of this part. It's file 37, developer note or development note 1, and it's going to be on this table right here. Also, make sure you pick up that so we can craft the cog needed to turn on the power. And now, if you've guessed it, one of these guys is going to be alive. It's this very last guy. But, you know, we've realized that this grenade launcher makes this so stupid. I love that they fall to their knees every time. It's like 6 shots and they're dead. Oh no, that was tough. Oh, he tried. Okay, so now we're going to craft the gear head and then go put it on the generator. Or the cog. Excuse me. Didn't realize we were in Gears of War. call me the Forge Master.
Could use this.
So now you just powered on those other enemies, if you haven't guessed it.
Oh, Ethan. Such a disappointment.
But we're not worried, because literally every enemy from this point on is a joke.
Truly, truly disappointing. To be her children. She locked us away in the village. Being forced to serve her.
Was it 7 bullets? Something like that. It's kind of dumb, honestly. Like, this walkthrough,
I'm not like my
it's
sibling.
more of the, I'm more focused on the collectibles and how to do it. You guys should just be able to do it no matter what with the grenade launcher.
So I need power
It takes away all intensity of this part of the game. It really does.
to destroy her.
So I was just doubling back to see if there was any extra loot, but there's not. So now we can go proceed on with this onto the next floor,
The
basically.
strong
So
will destroy the weak. That's the way of the world.
we will be coming back to the forge 2
You
more
should
times.
have never refused me, Ethan.
What a freak.
I'm gonna fast forward a little bit because it is literally just a linear path and shooting. So, you know, just keep using the grenade launcher. The whole time I was preparing for this walkthrough, I was like, man, the factory's gonna suck. I can't believe how hard the factory's gonna be on Village of Shadows. Tries out the grenade launcher. Oh, never mind. It's so stupid how easy this section is. Like, I had a harder time on standard difficulty than I am now. I like this dude in the shadows. He just sits here, thinks he's hot shit. Because at this point, you've seen every type of enemy you're going to face in the factory except for one of them. But that's the boss. So, I mean, you have seen him. He's the guy that killed me. But he is a lot easier than you might think. He's by far the easiest boss in the game. He is very derpy. I don't know if it has something to do with the fact that his brains are now a jet engine and he has no brains. That might be why he's so stupid, but the boss of this section is a joke. It's intense, but it's like, it's not hard. You just think it's going to be hard. So this is, I'll be fast forwarding like this, how it is now, whenever there's enemies like this, and I don't really need to explain anything, which is most of the factory, honestly. There's not many collectibles, except for in a few parts. A lot of it's just progressing through and killing. Kind of a run and gun type of mission. Alright, now up here in a moment is where you're going to meet the jet engine dude once again. And he's going to be right there. All you got to do is just run from him. And just use your grenade launcher to clear out these little guys. They're not really going to stand a chance. And once you get through that door, you're good. But yeah, the grenade launcher is really helpful when it comes to clearing out those guys. This is kind of like the halfway point of the factory. This guy's a little bit pissed, taking out his anger. Calm down. Calm down. Alright, so now we can call the elevator and get that merchant up to our floor. Well, I think
If
you know
it's
what to do
just
here.
a
Just sell off
window
everything
shop away.
that you don't need and save the game. Alright, once you've done everything you want to do at the merchant, now go back out to this ladder and we're going to go continue on.
Got a long way to go.
Hell yeah, we do, Ethan. So I just like looking at the factory like there. It's pretty cool.
Miranda thinks we're nothing
Miranda.
but children. Oh, she doesn't care for us? No.
Alright, so this part's just kind of like clearing out the caves, so I'm going to speed it up again. It's pretty straightforward. Well, these guys are just stupid. I really don't know how else to put it. It's like I just shot all your friends in the next room and they're still mining away. These guys might be the derpiest enemies in the entire game. Like, they just don't understand what's happening. There is a crystal right there on the ground where I picked up the enemy's loot, so make sure you do that. But then also noteworthy thing is turn around right here and there's a secret wall. And there's going to be a bunch of crystals here. And this is actually going to help you out a lot for that one challenge where you have to get a bunch of crystals. I'd already gotten it, but that is a good way to do that. I think it's like shoot down 15 crystals, different kinds of crystals, so definitely a good way to do that. Alright, so right here, you can kind of cheese this whole part and shoot all of the things early on. So we're going to do that, just because that makes life a lot easier. Grenade launcher for the win. Can't get that one, but you can go over here and get it. You actually have to walk a few steps. I mean, imagine that. And that's done. So now instead of fighting and shooting, now we don't have to worry about that at all. And just make sure that you loot up. But once again, grenade launcher your way through the enemies. And it's going to be those guys with horns that shoot lasers, but we're not going to let them do any of that crap. And we're just going to kill them. And if you just kind of progress slowly, you only have to fight one at a time. And I think there's only two. So I'm going to speed it up real quick. But yeah, it's basically just this guy kneeling and not doing anything to hurt you. I do appreciate the effort they do. They do try. Like, he really does try to get up to you. But it's just not going to happen. Sorry, buddy. Oh, now it's this guy's turn. This is basically the part of the walkthrough where you should feel proud of yourself for making it to this point. And now it's going to be a walk in the park. Because this difficulty is not easy, but this grenade launcher makes it easy. So you've made it this far, you're doing pretty good. The boss fights are not that bad. I will show you the easiest way to beat those, but at this point, it's kind of fun. You just run and gun. There's nothing that can really hit you. You start stacking up tons of resources because you just never use them. And yeah, you're pretty much overpowered. which is the best way to go about a walkthrough or a playthrough. All right, so once you reach the top of this, the grinder is what it's called. You're gonna be able to get our next collectible, which is going to be file 38, development note 2. It's gonna be on this table right here. So make sure you push this cart aside and then access this little hidden area. And this is where we're going to get the labyrinth ball that we're going to craft, and that is where we get that. Okay, so right here, you definitely want to shoot the orange glowing thing in the middle, the light. The glowing thing, as if I've never heard of a light bulb. When fans attack, coming this summer.
Shit, that was close.
All right, we have our next collectible, which is going to be goat number 17, and it's going to be over here on these bulldozer blades right here, just kind of chilling. Weirdest place in the whole game for a goat. I don't know. It's like not even standing up. I don't know what they were thinking with that one, but hey, whatever. They did it. Make sure you shoot the little quartz down right here on that's hiding on the back side of that. And now head into the fan. So make sure you don't fall off. For Demon Souls fans, this is like that one part where you have to drop down the little platforms. Or I guess for Dark Souls, this is the Blight Town. Basically that kind of status of the game. Just don't fall off. So at this point, I would try to stack your meds as much as possible and your magnum. I wouldn't worry about anything else other than meds and magnum. Meds and magnum. I just thought it was funny that Heisenberg's voice was like this when I sped it up, so I hope you enjoy. Not very evil. He doesn't really intimidate us when he sounds like that, huh?
I'd like to see you.
All right, so make sure you get the next forgery item in that chest, and then there's a yellow bird cage right here. We turned Heisenberg into Alvin the Chipmunk. Never been bullied by Alvin the Chipmunk. All right, so there's some little hidden loot over here, so we're gonna go do that. This door is gonna be something we'll come back to. So over there, this is kind of a pointless little loop of loot, but whatever. I'll show you guys. We're doing 100% of everything. So really, it's just that zipline loot, and then that's it. I don't really know what the whole point of that is, but hey, it's there. But when you're ready, call the elevator, and we're going to head back down to the merchant. And you're basically just going to want to, I don't know, trade in some inventory, do whatever you got to do, save the game. And then we are going to be pushing back to the forgery to craft the key and the labyrinth ball.
You know if you find anything else of value.
So just another collectible real quick. You can do this now or when you're going back up to the top floor. But what you're going to want to do is shoot this goat on the elevator ride. So you have to go down to B4 and then call it back up to B1. And then this goat, you'll see it right there. So you can either hit it on the way down or up, but I found it a lot easier to hit it on the way back up. So here's what that looks like, I guess. You don't want to go to B3, as I learned. I'm going to look like an idiot. Oh. So go to B1. It's probably easier to do this on the way back up, just because you're already coming this way. But hey, whatever. So that's the goat. That is goat number 18. All right. I just took the elevator back down to level B4. I didn't want to waste our time with me riding the elevator up and down and up and down. So now we're back to B4. This is the level with the forgery that we started at. And all you're going to do is just remember that path, and it's pretty much just follow the straightaway path back to the forgery. But yeah. You're going to have a couple enemies in your way, but they won't be a problem because we have our grenade launcher. I do appreciate their effort of trying, though. I mean, they're definitely trying. This dude's just hanging out at the door. I don't really know what he thought was going to happen, but we messed him up. All right, so now we're going to be crafting the Labyrinth Ball and the Heisenberg Key. So make sure you get both of those. All right, so remember that door that I said we'd be coming back to? That's the time is now. And so you're going to go open this up, and that is going to allow us to get weapon part number 5. Sorry, I could not remember that. But watch out for this guy who thinks he's tough. So just in case you guys aren't clear, the weapon parts are used for the trophies as well as the challenges. So they are kind of like collectibles. But yeah, they are basically there at different points in the game, and then you'll be able to collect them and then assemble them onto the weapons. And you'll need to do it if you want to get the thing. So right here on this table is weapon part number 5 if you haven't gotten it. Now, let's head back up to the B1 floor, which is the very top floor. So I'm going to speed up, but you're going to take the elevator back up to that floor. Now, there are going to be a few enemies in your way trying to make your day bad. And, you know, they think they're tough. They look tough. I'll give them that. These guys have a little bit more health. They're definitely the hardest of all the robot people, whatever you want to call them, machines. But yeah, they are definitely the harder of those kinds. Yeah, I guess there's 2 of them in your path. You always know you're on the right path when there's enemies in your way. I think what makes this area so annoying is that it's always pitch black, and there's just nothing you can really do about that. But now that we got those guys out of the way, now we can head back to the main floor where the labyrinth is, and we're going to go ahead and complete that. Now this one's definitely the hardest of all of them. Still not that hard, but definitely the hardest one. And it's also the last one, so I hope you enjoy it. So right here, I'd recommend turning it like this way. That way you can see it. Otherwise, it'll fall off. And then kind of slow it down right here. And that's, once you get past this part, that's kind of the hardest part of the whole thing. But make sure you flip it. Otherwise, you'll fall off again right there. And trust me, I tried to catch the little thing below it to see if you could like ride that, but no. Yay, we did it. Now you can sell this off to the merchant too, and then we're gonna head up to the top floor. Now, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the place we just came from. I actually forgot to show you something, so let's double back real quick to this one door. It's definitely needed for one of the collectibles. I apologize for going out of order, but basically, you need to do this. So, go back to the area where that Heisenberg door is. Now that we have the Heisenberg key, we had seen it earlier. So just follow this path, basically back to the foundry. And then that door that you opened up with the horse head thing, go through that. So yeah, up this little stairwell. And then it's right here. And there's going to be a few enemies in this area. And this is going to allow you to combine that cog that we picked up earlier that I said don't sell off. And that will be the last combinable treasure. Alright, so the last part of the hammer is going to be right here. And so what you'll want to do is combine that with the cog, and that will make a Heisenberg hammer. And then you can go back to the merchant and sell it off. But that will be your last combinable treasure. You should have 5 out of 5 if you've been following along. Alright, so now I'm going to skip back to the elevator since we know where to go. And then we're going to go up to the level B1. Okay, so here we are at level B1. And this is the other Heisenberg doors. So now we've done every single thing in the factory, and we're ready to push on for the final section. I'm sorry for going out of order earlier, but wanted to make sure we covered everything and don't miss anything. So our next collectible is actually file 39, the Sturm. I don't know if that's how you say it, but Sturm? I don't know. Weird. But now we're getting ready for the boss fight. I don't know if that's a fair word since it's going to be really easy with our grenade launcher. But it is the boss fight. I would say I like this enemy the most. He's pretty interesting, I guess, but not hard. So when you're ready, this is the boss fight arena, this maze-looking area, and it's pretty basic. What you want to do is not panic, and he's going to feel like he's trapping you at first, and you have nowhere to go. But he's actually not that good. That's smart. So just try to pop him a few times, and he's going to crash into the wall right there, and then knock down this wall right here. So just hide out by the door. And now run. And at that point, you've gotten around him, and so now at this point, you're pretty much set. He's going to start crashing into everything, and what you want to do is shoot him in the back where that red circle is. And this is where you're going to realize how easy this is. So he's going to run at you. Right when he gets to you, sidestep him like this, and then just look behind you and shoot him. And just do that like, I don't know, 8 or 9 times, and he's dead. So sidestep, shoot him in the back. Sidestep, and shoot him in the back. So you just do that And then phase 2, he's going to shoot fire, and he's going to think he's being really cool, but he's not. So right there, when he catches fire, now he's going to shoot fire. All you got to do is just get out of his way. So I'm going to show you that even if you do get hit, it doesn't really matter. I don't know why. It really doesn't hurt you at all. So sidestep, same thing. Shoot him in the back. But yeah, just try to, I guess, get out of the way. The fire in the ground really doesn't hurt you much, so you don't have to worry too much about that. I try to run through it and stuff, but it really doesn't hurt you. God, don't you hate when you lose the boss? So what was that, like, what, 6 bullets and he was on phase 2? And it's about the same amount for this one. If I would stop losing them behind walls, it'd be a lot faster of a boss fight. So, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty straightforward. You'll probably do this a lot better than I will, or I did, because my dude just kept getting stuck. I lost him a few times. I haven't really been able to actually hit him a few times, like, on this phase, easily at least. Ethan's sound effects. Also, those walls don't really break, so that's kind of a good spot I've noticed. Just running around that square. Not that you really need it. This guy doesn't really hurt you. It's kind of a joke boss fight, if you ask me. Like, the guy doesn't even really hit you. Alright, so that's how he dies right there. You'll hear that sound effect. And then he'll lose his mind. Boom. And now we're done with the boss. So now there's going to be a few more collectibles, like, all right together. So in this room, there is going to be file number 40, which is Heisenberg's diary, and it's going to be on this table right here. And now for the next collectible, crouch and then go underneath right here. And you're going to be able to find goat number 19, which is our second to last goat, actually. It'll be right here on this blue barrel. We're almost done with this part, I promise. All right, now we're going to go operate the crane and, I don't know, meet Heisenberg once again. Make sure you don't miss this loot item right here.
What the?
I always like this cutscene. It like vibrates everything. So now we're on floor B1, which is, or excuse me, B5. It is the bottom floor, and we fell all the way back down. So, but now we have one more collectible before we wrap up this part. It is going to be file 41, which is Chris's computer. And if you guys are a betting group of people, it's the computer. So Chris's computer, file 41. It's this computer right here beside the tractor. But that's going to wrap up part number 9. We just have 2 more parts, which is going to be the Heisenberg boss fight and then the final boss fight. So we're almost done. But thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Absoulem, and I hope to see you in part number 10. I hope you have a great day. Bye.